Yeah, good morning. Good to be with you today on Summit. My name is Jumoke Michaels, and that's the message from Pelican Valley Estate, situated in Ogun State, specifically Abeokuta. They are waiting to receive your calls. They want to be of service to you, and they have lands and property for you in that estate. So just begin to give them a call now to be part of what they have for you. You're welcome again. Banji, good morning.
Mother, good morning.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here at the midweek edition of our program Summit. My name is Banji Musa. You're welcome.
All right, so today there is so much talk, still so much talk about insecurity in Nigeria. We've been talking so much about it, but it's not abating. And so we look critically into issues of insecurity on the program today in the short time we have left. And joining us today, we have Mr. Bola Oba, a public affairs analyst, joining us to discuss insecurity as Nigerians condemn ceaseless killings. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. It's a pleasure to be on your side.
Okay.
Well, it's our pleasure to have you here, sir. In the last couple of days since Saturday, the gruesome killings of rice farmers in Borno State has actually attracted so much condemnations across the land. The National Assembly, the emirs, the obas, all Nigerians agreed on the fact that we could have done better, to prevent most of these killings. You recall that some time ago, the federal government said this Boko Haram has been tactically defeated. And then years after, almost on a daily basis, the Boko Haram Haramists are gathering more and more strength to even infiltrate the ranks of the military. How long will these killings hold? When will it actually stop? So Nigerians are unanimous in condemning the latest killings. Some put the figure at 110 as UN, but as locally we are saying 67. Some said 43. So we don't really know the actual number of casualties. But what's your reaction to these latest killings?
Any sane, reasonable human being, ordinarily, will unreservedly condemn the heinous act. It is quite disturbing, very perturbing, and it speaks to the fact that the characters who are perpetrating such I don't know what to say, but it's very sad, very disturbing. You cannot live as a sane human being and read the story, not even see any pictorials or see any visuals. Just read the story and not be wrenched, emotionally wrenched. So, however, may I politely disagree with you that it's not been all Nigerians who have condemned it, or it's not been all Nigerians who have just stayed with the right thing to do by condemning it. We've had one spokesperson of the president saying that the farmers, almost wanting to say that the farmers were foolish or had death wish because they did not get the clearance. He may not have said it that way, but the simple meaning of what he said, that the farmers did not get the clearance from the military, could be construed as saying that the farmers had death wish. We have also heard from people who are closer to the military establishment inferring that the farmers may just be victims of a cultural or sociological complicity, that they are they had formed with Boko Haram. Because some were saying, I was listening to a retired military intelligence chieftain saying that there were no guns shot, there were no fires, and that the farmers were like summoned. And because they had always been summoned in that respect, and that they had always walked that path in collaboration and in complicity with the operatives of Boko Haram, that on this occasion I went wrong and it's become an embarrassment. So we can see that there is a deliberate, strategic effort by some persons in the Nigerian military establishment, from the presidency to the military establishment, trying to stigmatize the victims.
Or maybe play down the seriousness of the matter.
Whichever way you look at it, they have chosen to use phrases, sentences, and statements that tend to want to portray the victims as complicit characters in the bigger picture of the security compromise of that environment. If you say somebody did not take permission before going to the farm, it speaks a lot. If you say, how come that there were no gun shots, there were no registered form of armed violence, that it did seem to them that these people were called upon by the apparatchiks of Boko Haram, and like they had always heeded the call, they went, and unbeknownst to them that Boko Haram wanted to make a statement on that occasion, they were slaughtered.
So, but I also raised the fact that how do you reconcile the fact that Boko Haram, which was said to have been practically defeated, is now gathering more and more momentum, so much so that Jumoke was shocked when she read the headline that Boko Haram now mount checkpoints and collect levies.
What apologists of the government would tell you if you say that is, they often say that there was a time before they came into government when swaths of Nigerian territory was literally under the control of Boko Haram, and about 20 local government areas out of the 774 were literally not only under the control of Boko Haram, but that the local government headquarters literally had Boko Haram flags being flown, and that now that they had pushed Boko Haram from such ostensible operational temerity, operational arrogance, to the level now where they subtly deceive people to kill them, and where they exploiting the overstretched circumstance of the military, collect tolls, and but let's be very honest with ourselves. Less than 50 kilometers to where we are sitting now. About 2 weeks ago, less than 50 kilometers to where we are sitting now, one of the busiest arterial roads in the whole of Africa, Lagos Ibadan Express Road, by Ibafo. Cultists were fighting to control the power of extortion on the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. I'm not making that up. That happened less than 50 kilometers. In fact, technically Ibafo to where we are sitting now is practically less than, because the redemption camp is 49 kilometers to the toll gate. So Ibafo should be around 30 kilometers to where we are now. And this is the economic capital of not only Nigeria, this is the economic capital of the sub-region. People come, many of the people riding bikes in Lagos, Okada, come from as far as Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Chad to come and ride bikes here. And yet, less than 30 kilometers, you have local boys, cultists, fighting to be in control of a jugular, an arterial road in the greater Lagos area. It may be Ibafo, may be Ogun State, but it's part of the 60% of Ogun State and it's part of the Lagos mega city area. So I'm sitting here now thinking, where now do you have in Nigeria, can you say that cultists, let's even leave the northeast alone, because at least we have ostensible case of terrorism in that part of the country. As we speak now, because since we came into this dispensation, and since the day President Olusegun Obasanjo welcomed Asari Dokubo into Aso Rock, bearing bullet as his necklace, since that day, Nigeria has signed a pact to be rewarding people who use violence to grandstand against the state. And as I'm talking to you now, the second in command of a Turkish movement in Lagos just opened a 500 million naira hotel. That should tell me, if I'm in school now, that should tell me that education may not be paying anymore, but brigandage and thuggishness pays. My brother, we are blowing grammar here. How many of us have one single investment worth about 500 million naira? People watching me, many who are university graduates, many who are professors. How many of them have one single investment? A hospitality investment worth about 500 million naira. So we are perfected the art of rewarding brigandage, lawlessness, criminality. So tell me which local government you know in Nigeria where cultism, be it in the west, be it in the southeast, be it in the south-south, where cultism is not being rewarded, in the northeast, terrorism, in the northwest, banditry. You know what? Governments in Nigeria are now they are now rewarding bandits by calling them to sit at the table with them and doling out monies to them.
All right.
Did the governor not tell us about three years ago that he went as far as the Niger Republic to go and pay money to some Fulani bandits because he wanted to pacify them, not to be ravaging.
Okay, let's take a commercial break. We'll be back with more discussion. Stay with us.
Are you looking out to becoming a land and property owner? Yes! Well, juicy and extravagant opportunities are bound for you with Boundless Multi-Services Solutions Nigeria Limited, Boundless Court, Ibejuleki and Ekpe, Boundless Court, Ayobo, Boundless Haven, Agbara, Agbowa, Ikorodu, Ibafo, Mowe, Shimawa, Boundless Garden, Shagamu, Boundless Estate, Itori, Ewekoro, Atota, Ota, Abeokuta, and Ibadan, and much more. Enjoy flexible payment plan, individual survey, deed of assignment, instant allocation, and no omonile wahala. Office address is number 98 Akonwaja Road, Vulcanizer Bus Stop, beside Bola Tinubu Primary Healthcare Center, Egbeda, Lagos. Reach us on telephone 0703-134-4042 or 0706-445-7284. Boundless Multi-Services Solution Nigeria Limited. Boundless, unlimited in opportunities.
Okay, you're welcome back. It's still summer, and we're still talking insecurity. All right, as part of reactions to these incessant killings in the northern part of Nigeria, yesterday the reps moved to summon the president to explain this issue of insecurity to the House, and there was a lot of divisions among the representatives. In your opinion, was it truly necessary to summon the president to explain this issue?
Were you taken by the exhibitionistic melodrama of the reps?
Anyway, it shall happen.
Because on the one hand, somebody tabled the prayer that the president should be invited. There was a commotion and cacophony and this thing. The speaker then enjoined the chamber to go into an executive session. When they emerged from the executive session after the entreaties of the speaker, which started actually before he called for, after the entreaties of the speaker, they allowed the prayer to stay. But you know what? Did they put a date that the president should come to that prayer? You asked me the question. I know,
there's no date.
I know it lacks manners for me to be asking you a question back. But you know what, my sister, thank God that you have helped me. They did not put a date to the prayer.
It's part of a show.
That was exhibition.
But then again,
Too
you
much
want to
drama.
question
That was a show. A show is better than exhibitionism. That was just pandering to the emotions of the public.
But then justification for the invitation of the president, when he already has service chiefs, people actually dedicated to take care of security, why must he be the president? The service chiefs were there.
The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria so makes it that the legislature has the right in doing its oversight function to question any member of the executive. It did not put a waiver to the title of the president. No. And you know what? As though it is anathema to our constitution, we must remember that the tradition, even in this presidential system of government, is such that the president presents at least one executive bill in the year, and that is the appropriation bill. I mean, the president don't go there, because when I look at you sometimes, you know, I tell myself, is my sister taking it in, make her,
I'm taking it.
So what is anathema about the president going to one of the two bicameral, or one of the two chambers of this to explain what he's doing? Because it's a security matter, it will be an executive session. It will not be
But
broadcast.
is he expecting to see anything different from what he has been telling Nigerians over time? One, the fact that he has done his best to secure this country.
You know what? If you want to ask me that question the way you have asked me, you will be pushing me to the point where I may be sounding a bit rude. What does he say?
He has told us he has done his
Several
best.
times. He has told the military several times to take the battle to the insurgents.
And they have taken it.
He still said it 2 days, 2 days back.
So if you've been mantraing a phrase or mantraing a statement, and I'm deliberately using the word mantra because mantra means something that one chants. And if you've been chanting a phrase or a statement for 5 years, if you are a person who has a modicum of self-respect and self-esteem, and you know that that statement is now obviously sounding vacuous, would you still be saying it? Oh, would the repeat of that statement yesterday, would it be different to
What has been said over time?
for the last 5 years, there's a broken record syndrome here. You know those acrylic records when we were young, at least all of us here, we must have met the acrylic record. So.
But then the Senate was a bit mild in its own approach, but then nonetheless, they came up with some resolutions. Well, one of the rhetorics in the land is the sack, the continuous request or demand for the sack of service chiefs. They made it number 1, and that there should be restructuring of the security architecture. 3, that the security spending must be probed, and so on and so forth. Now, do you see this as just a mere paying lip service to it, or what different, or what did they do differently in pushing this agenda? Do you think it was a serious one?
You know, when we were growing up, they used to tell us, some wise elderly people used to tell us, beware of what you pray for, because sometimes when you get what you prayed for, it may become a liability for you in many respects. If the Senate was the Saraki Senate, what were they saying in the days of Saraki Senate? When they were passing resolutions like this, enjoining the president to sack the service chiefs. They said they were antagonistic, very, very belligerent to the president, the person of the president, and the office of the presidency. Have you not been there in the statement with that? Then God answered their prayer after the election. APC, as we speak now, does not only control the 2 chambers of the National Assembly, APC controls all the principal officers of the 2 chambers, and yet the Senate yesterday, using your word, they were a bit more polite, still passed the resolution. And you know what? Since I lost my mother's money betting in Mushin as a young boy,
I know Mushin must come up.
I know he must come up. That's my emotional persona. Since I lost her money betting with her money at about the age of 11, I'd never bet. Never. But you know what? I can bet my last bottom naira that resolution now. After the resolution.
Don't forget that the Senate president comes from Borno. And apart from the legitimate, the official role, administrative role as the Senate president, he also behoves on him to protect his people.
The chief of army staff, where is he from? Bade, the late Bade, we are all very religious in Nigeria. So let me say what a typical Nigerian would say when you are talking about somebody who has passed on to the other world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless his soul. Amen. Because at least we cannot, that's the only thing we owe a dead soul.
Respect.
Bade, when he was chief of defense staff, knew that his village was going to be attacked. He swiftly arranged for his family members to be airlifted out of using, and we have not only lost values, virtually all of us. And I ask Bola Abba every morning too when I'm dressing, and have you joined the army of the perverted? Because majority of us in Nigeria will sacrifice anybody and anything for our materialistic gain. One of the resolutions of the Senate yesterday is the probe of the military budget.
$1 billion.
And it's suddenly coming to the realization of some people now that this chief of army staff was the chief procurement officer under Jonathan. So we are not accusing anybody, we can't accuse anybody here, we are decent enough to know. But you know what? The Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is asking that the military budget be reviewed.
talking about military budget, I'm sure you
Sorry,
also.
before you ask that question, let me just announce that you can send us an SMS to share your thoughts with us on this topic we are discussing this morning.
Okay, thank you. Talking about the budget, you recall that a sizable chunk of the budget was actually allocated to the importation of the military hardware. That's a Tucano, that's a aircraft. The issue now is we stand the risk of forfeiting that allocation, that's expenditure, because of the wrong way, that which may not be suitable for the hardware we're importing. So you may want to ask, did all this not come into play before we place the order? No, I'm asking.
There's a conundrum, sir. You know the meaning of a conundrum. I know you know the meaning of a conundrum is a question that has embedded in it its own effective answer. Did we not consider all that before we paid? I won't buy this. I won't buy clothes. I don't consider my body.
To buy enough yard.
To buy enough yard. I could go buy 3 years. Well, God has been gracious. Look at the behemoth. 3 years.
You need like 6 years.
I never said so. I never said so. Your question is so beautiful, so logical, that the question has effectively helped a dunce like me to answer itself. That is the country we live in. Because when they were trying to package the money to buy it, go and check how much we buy it and how much. Because some people would have been more concerned about this is a
I'm putting words in your mouth.
I love this show.
Who got what?
You are my favorite. When you guys invite me, Tabati invite me, my head sweats. Honestly, because you know what, somebody can reason with you people.
Okay, let's look at the stance of the Northern Governors Forum, because they also
Northeast Governors Forum.
All right.
So or the totality of Northern.
Okay, Northeast. So no, because they too, time and time again, keep making some comments that the presidency needs to do better, and then they are now calling for Buhari to resign over insecurity.
I have not read any official statement from the governors of the North saying that the president should resign. The only one that was shocking to me yesterday was that the Northeast governors, when they visited the governor of Borno State, Professor Zulum, were unanimous in saying that it was about time Nigeria engaged mercenaries to fight Boko Haram. And that in itself, well, you see, even when you don't speak, your physical gesture tells it all. Governors of this particular region in Nigeria officially stating before cameras that the Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria ought to, according to them, by now have engaged mercenaries. This is Ebenezer, where God.
All right. Still going back to the question earlier asked by Jumoke on the resignation, that's called for resignation. I know Nigerians have actually mounted. Now, this is the era of comparison. Some people have taken us back to pre-2015. I mean, boldly written on some of the national dailies, asking the former President Jonathan to resign because of the high rate of insecurity. I mean, is it out of place for Nigerians to ask the President to resign?
Given the fact that there's a footage going around now, and somebody actually sent it to me yesterday, where the then aspirant Muhammadu Buhari, retired general, was looking straight into a camera, Nigerian flag behind, APC flag behind him, sitting and looking straight into the camera and enjoining the then president to resign because of insecurity and the fact that it was under him, according to the then candidate, that a travesty was happening, the impugning of the territorial integrity of Nigeria, enjoining the then president to resign. Logic should say, I'm not saying it, I'm using the logic of the incumbent to say what he said. So, you see, the beautiful part of the life we are living now is that the internet never forgets. If Bola Oba woke up in the morning and called himself a miracle, if he's when you get to the afternoon and you are remonstrating with somebody openly, or you are rebuking somebody for calling you any other name, you know, but for calling you Ekun, and that my name is Walaba, wait, they go and pull the footage for you in the morning. Look at it. The candidate Muhammadu Buhari, general retired of the Nigerian army, sat in front of, it was one of the campaign productions for APC, and he lambasted the then president, said he had allowed the territorial integrity of Nigeria to be impinged, and that under him that was not going to happen, and that the man should resign.
As the actual question home, because time is no longer a friend, what do you see as the overall, or maybe partly, the implication of this sacking of farmers from our farmlands in the northeast?
You don't.
People don't even want to go to the farm.
Yeah, farmers are scared.
Look at the inflationary trend on agricultural produce, tomato, onions.
It's supposed to be tomato season. This is even supposed to be tomato season.
Tomato, onions, tubers. You should. But that your question is so fundamental to some of the things that you see. An average person watching this program in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Nnewi, don't even let me go as far as Kaduna, but in Abuja, if you are watching this program, you will be living in delusion if you think it's just about the northeast, if you think it's just about the northwest, if you think it's just about the north central up to Kaduna. The fact is that the sociological architecture of the society we live in now has collapsed. And you know what? Our youths who have not been provided gainful employment, they have seen that we are a society that rewards brigandage, that rewards violent grandstanding against society. I just gave an example earlier on of a motor park dealer in Nigeria, in Lagos, who just built a humongous hotel. You see, until we review the operational modalities of our societies, our micro societies, our communities, we are all living dangerously. Forget about state infrastructure as it pertains to security for Bola Oba has collapsed. Situation now is such that you and I, we have to be very security conscious, and we have to learn to work collaboratively with people, other responsible people in our communities, be it one street to two streets. The CDAs and the CDCs should be prioritizing security in their discussion far above anything now.
Thank you very much, sir, for that advice. My name is Banjibu Sari. That's our package for today. see you in your morning.
Thank you, sir, for coming and joining us this morning.
Thank you very much for the privilege.
Right,
Always a pleasure.
Okay, Michael. We'll leave you with a message from Boundless Multi-Services Solutions Nigeria Limited, talking about lands and property. So you can be a part of their plan for all citizens to own their own properties. See you again. Bye-bye.
This is Boundless Estate at Alta, sitting on 20 acres of land. The crew of Boundless Multi-Services Solution Nigeria Limited arrives at the estate located at Sokoto Road at Alta for its regular inspection and space allocation exercise to its valued clients. A client, Mrs. Emiola Taiwo, who had her space allotted to her, expressed her joy at finally becoming a landowner after receiving her allocation document.
They allocate my land to me just now, though I didn't expect that, but thank God it's come to pass today. And when I paid for this land, I was like, are they going to allocate the land to me? But thank God today. And during the Hilea festival, they gave me 30% of the land, which they gave me the chicken, oil, palm oil, and other things like that. So I want to appreciate them for their efforts. Next month, I'm going to start the projects. So I'll start building the land. I want to encourage others. If you are doubting them, don't doubt them. So I want you to patronize them. I want you to come and buy land here. It's real.
The site inspection manager speaks on the numerous payment plans obtainable at Boundless Estate as he conducts prospective clients around the property.
We are at Boundless Estate at Sokoto Road at the moment, and we came for phases of inspections and allocations. The interesting thing about this location is that it is an highly industrialized area, and we have popular places and catchment areas like the Winners Chapel, which is Kena land. It's just 10 minutes drive from here, and this location, this estate, promises an affordable payment scheme and flexibility. And another interesting thing is that any class of Nigerian, from the low class to the middle class, can afford. We have scheme that you can actually fit into to make your dream of owning a plot of land possible in this estate. We have basic amenities in place, such as good electricity. We're going to have a central solar system, good drainage, and the race of the land. It has a good topography as well. So
some clients who came for inspection described their conviction with excitement.
When they told me that we should come for an inspection, I was saying, they've started, but let me just go. I came in here for coming sake. It's not that I really believe in, because anything that has to do with land, I used to be scared. But on getting here, I was highly impressed with a good environment. In fact, I check everywhere. Right from the time that we are coming, I was like, is it for real? Are we sure? I said, okay, let me reach there. Until I got here, and I'm very, very impressed. They've started the perimeter fencing. Even there was one woman like that they located. I was like, with her documents, everything ready. I said, wow. Then there's no need for me to go anywhere again, because I know with Boundless Multi-Service, I'm good to go.
The marketing manager speaks on the accessibility and prospects of the property.
If you look around, as you can see, this particular place promises many things, such as gatehouse, such as perimeter fencing. One good thing about it is this: we even have plan for the aged ones, whereby we have such as golf court for them to relax their mind, to relax their nerves, because they are old. And apart from that, we have football pitch that will be made ready for the children. They don't need to go outside to mingle with every other children outside there. They mingle with like-minded children. This is the phase 2 of allocation. This place has limited plots. Why can't you come now, buy it, because it is affordable? Before we move to phase 3 of this place, join Boundless now, join the train, and I promise you, you will never regret you did.
Greater Heights Estate, Onibuku in Ado-Daughter, is another property managed by Boundless Multi-Services Solution Nigeria Limited.
It's one of the fastest rising and developing area in this axis, and is very close to the Ota Idiroko Expressway, very close to Ota Idiroko Expressway, just right behind major companies like producing companies along this axis, because this area is highly industrialized. And the reason why we are here today is because this particular estate is very, very affordable, and we have limited number of plots available for grabs. It's not an estate where you will have omonile issues. That has been sorted out already. No issues, nothing. Just there's no encroachment on this land. Just come, buy, and build at affordable rates.
Are you looking out to becoming a land and property owner? Yes! Well, juicy and extravagant opportunities are bound for you with Boundless Multi-Services Solutions Nigeria Limited, Boundless Court, Ibejuleki and Ekpe, Boundless Court, Ayobo, Boundless Haven, Agbara, Agbowa Ikorodu, Ibafo, Mowe Shimawa, Boundless Garden, Shagamu, Boundless Estate, Itori, Ewekoro, Atota, Ota, Abeokuta and Ibadan, and much more. Enjoy flexible payment plan, individual survey, deed of assignment, instant allocation, and no omonile wahala. Office address is number 98 Akonwaja Road, Vulcanizer Bus Stop, beside Bola Tinubu Primary Healthcare Center, Egbeda, Lagos. Reach us on telephone 0703-134-4042 or 0706-445-7284. Boundless Multi-Services Solution Nigeria Limited. Boundless, unlimited in opportunities.